Hi everybody, this is Simone from Canine Possible Dog Training in Penticton, British Columbia. Today I would like to make a video about muzzle training. Muzzle training can be a very important part of your dog's life. Most people think only dangerous dogs or vicious dogs or dogs that have bitten need to be muzzled and need to be muzzle trained. However, it would be really good if every dog is muzzle trained just for prevention, in case something will happen in the future, in case your dog needs to go to the vet and they need to muzzle them for any reason. Your dog is already more comfortable about it. But let's talk a little bit about dogs that are insecure, dogs that might snap at people or at other dogs when they're uncomfortable. Those dogs should be muzzled in a preventative way. Once the dog has bitten, you can't take that back. Once your dog has bitten a person or another dog, you basically already have a disaster. You have to either take care of vet bills, other medical bills, you might get reported to animal control, your dog might be seized for quarantine, your dog might be labeled a dangerous dog and is only allowed to be on leash anymore and has to be muzzled at all the time. So once your dog has bitten somebody, the disaster already happened. So if you do have a dog that you know that sometimes might snap at people or has a higher potential, I mean every dog has a potential to bite, but if you know you have a dog that might have a higher potential to bite somebody, whether it's a person or a dog, you might simply want to muzzle your dog when in public. If your dog is muzzled, if he reacts, it will prevent a bite. In this case, there's less damage that's going to happen, and you already take preventative measures. So even if you do get reported to animal control, you are already taking preventative measures. You know your dog has the potential. Ideally, you're also working with a trainer to overcome those issues. However, by just taking those preventative measures, you're showing that you are a responsible dog owner. And I think people shouldn't be afraid to muzzle their dogs because of what other people think, because that's an issue that happens often. They don't want to muzzle their dog because they think, well, my dog looks scary, what are people going to think? In the end, it doesn't matter what people are going to think. You are being responsible by making sure nobody gets hurt. So every dog should be muzzle trained just in case. So there are actually different muzzles out there. There are mesh muzzles that have an opening at the front that do not prevent dogs from fully biting, but it does help dogs. They can still drink, they can still eat. That's usually what a lot of vets will use. It's a good muzzle for short-term use, like going to the vet or anything like that. Then there is wire muzzles. This is just a Baskerville plastic wire muzzle. They're actually quite cheap. Baskerville also has another more sturdier version. They're the Ultra muzzles, which are really good. They also have a head strap for extra security. And then there's also wire muzzles that are made out of metal. So it really depends what you need it for. For just preventative measures, the Baskerville wire muzzles or the black Ultra muzzles are a really good choice. They do prevent your dog from biting anybody. They have good ventilation. They're fairly cheap, so they're quite comfortable to wear because they also stretch. The only thing is the dog cannot drink with it or eat with it the way it comes. You could always cut a hole in the front so your dog could still drink or eat. But then again, there's a high risk that he could technically grab onto somebody. There's also different muzzles out there for different breeds. So depending what kind of breed you have to make sure that it doesn't squish their nose or squish their face. Baskerville has good muzzles for boxers or other breeds like that that are fairly round, where this one is really good for a shepherd type the dog, or a dog with a kind of narrow snout. The Baskerville Ultra muzzles, the black ones, they seem to fit the bully breeds very well, most of them. So you would just have to find a muzzle that really works for your dog and that is secure on your dog. A very important thing to consider is when we do muzzle train our dogs, we want to make sure our dogs are comfortable. And that's why we want to muzzle train them. We don't want to have a dog that has to go to the vet, is already super stressed out, has potential to bite, so you have to strap a muzzle on them, which actually restricts them and makes them more stressed, which makes the whole experience even worse. We want to make sure that dogs are comfortable wearing their muzzles. We want them to think it's simply just an extension of them. It belongs to them. They're super comfortable and they're not restricted, and that's why proper muzzle training is important. I'm going to show you a few steps on how you can muzzle train your dog. Another important thing to consider is that when you do muzzle train your dog, you have to make sure they never try to paw it off, or they're never successful in pawing it off. The reason is, once your dog has been successful in pawing it off, they know that it works. They know they can get it off, so they are more likely to try it over and over again. So that's where some muzzles with head straps come in. So they have a strap that goes from the top over the head to the back of this strap, and some can also be secured with another strap on the collar. So they're super, super safe. They have extra safety straps. I think the Baskerville Ultra muzzles have them. Those Baskerville muzzles don't have them, but as long as your dog is super comfortable with the muzzle, it's usually not an issue. Okay, so when you muzzle train your dog, one thing is you want to go very slow. You want to go step by step to just teach the dog. It's okay to have your head in this. It's okay to walk around with this, and it's not something that's threatening to you or that's going to restrain you. Now, during here, she hasn't really been muzzle trained, but with her, it's not really an issue. Like usually with her, we can put it on and she is comfortable. Now, when you start muzzle training, in the beginning, let's say for the first 2 or 3 days, depending how your dog does, all you want the dog is put their nose in it and be comfortable with that. So I have some treats here. When you do start muzzle training, if you do have a mesh muzzle that has an opening in the front, I would recommend you use it, because it's way easier. Then you will see how I will struggle with this one a little bit, because it has opening and the treats can fall out. So in the beginning, what I do, like a good way to try to do it is you can put the muzzle between your legs. You grab a handful of food, or you take some treats and you put it on the other side of the muzzle, and just teach your dog, like, stick your nose in there and then you'll get food. So with this one, it's a little bit harder, especially with the small treats. So you can even take like a big treat and just put the big treat in here and let the dogs put their nose in it. I don't have any big treats right now, so I'm just putting one treat to the end. I'll hold it towards her face. She probably already knows what to do it. Okay. Sit. And she can get the treat out of it. Okay? There you go. Okay, treat fell out, but that's okay. She put her nose in it. She gets the treat. Good job. So I put the treat on the end, or you just throw it in if you have a big treat. If you have a big treat, just, give it to the dog. Okay, let's try that again. I'm struggling here a little bit. Okay. There you go. I think she found it. Good job, Durian. So in the beginning, that's all I do. I just throw food in the muzzle. I hold it down. I let the dog put his nose in and get the treat. So this time what I'm going to do is Once the dog is comfortable putting their nose in there without a problem, then you can start closing the strap. So you could have them put their nose in, right? Close the strap quickly, take it off, give them a treat. Or you just have a treat in the muzzle and have him eat it while you close the strap. In the beginning, it should only be like a second. So, good job. In, close it, take it off, treat. You can also put a command on it so that you call the muzzle, for example, muzzle. So what you can do, if she puts her nose in it, okay, muzzle, good. Green, muzzle, good. And again, right? So she's like, oh yeah, that's fine. Again, if you can put a treat in here, or if you, depending what kind of muzzle you have, if you can just hold food here and have them put their nose in, it's usually a little bit easier so they can eat the food. Once you're able to close the strap for a second, then the next time you can do the same. Muzzle, close it. There you go. Maybe leave it on for like 3 seconds or 10 seconds. You can even feed them something through the muzzle. Take it off. Good job. Give them a treat. And like I said, go slow with this. Once they're super comfortable doing this, once you can basically, on command, have them stick their nose in the muzzle. Period. Muzzle. Good job. And they're comfortable, they're not struggling, they're not trying to paw it off, you can let them walk around in the house a little bit with that. And every now and then you can reinforce them and give them a treat to make sure they're still wearing it and they're still comfortable. Again, you want to make sure they can never ever paw it off. So you want to supervise your dog and you only want to let them walk around with it. Good job. You only want to let them walk around with it if they're super comfortable. Once they're okay walking around with it a few minutes, you'll take it off. Like, you really don't want to push it. You don't want to just, oh yeah, they're super comfortable, I can leave it on, let's just do it for an hour. Or let's just go for a walk. Go slow with it, okay? So once they're comfortable walking around in the house with it, you can take them for a brisk walk. Like 5-minute walk, 10-minute walk on leash. Just have them get comfortable inside and outside with it when walking. Don't let them go lay down with it in the house because then they might try to paw it off. So just go slow. Introduce them by letting them eat out of the muzzle and just sticking their nose in. Once they're comfortable with that, you can start closing the strap. Just quickly take it off and give them a treat. Once you're comfortable with that, you close the strap, you let it on for multiple seconds, 10 seconds or take it off, give them a treat, and you just slowly increase the time they're wearing it. Once they're comfortable with that, have them walk around in the house a little bit and reinforce them a lot for keeping it on, and then eventually start taking them outside, start taking them for walks with it, and make sure they are comfortable. Again, it's a really good preventative measures because there are moments where your dog might have to be muzzled. Even if they don't have the tendency to snap or bite, they might, there might be an accident where they have an injury. That could be a reason that you might need to muzzle your dog. There could be, again, they could have to go to the vet where they need to be muzzled. There's different situations where it might be super important. If you do have a dog that might bite, like there is insecure, that has shown signs of wanting to snap at people or dogs, muzzle train your dog and just keep everybody safe. Keep your dog safe, keep people safe, and just prevent a disaster. So if you have any questions about that, or if you need help with your dog, please feel free to contact us. Thank you.